So let's kick this off, Moira. Do you follow what lights you up?
Absolutely.
I knew the answer to that one.
So, I've actually been doing some I'm always doing work on myself. Like it's super important to me to walk my talk. But one of the things that I've been really noticing in myself with my personal practices is that I'm starting to really realize that introspection and checking in and being gentle and kind to me is of the utmost importance.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Wow, thank you for joining us, everybody, here today. Hi, Moira. Hi, Debz.
Hi, Debz.
And hi, listeners. Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Debz and Moira. That was my singing, which tends to happen.
I love how you sing us on to these
every time. Just keep it real. Oh, exciting. Today is a goodie.
But of course
it's a goodie. When Moira and I said, this is what we're talking about, we both got very excited. Ooh, who's introing? But I won. But before we crack into the main stuff here, I just would like to talk a little about our body functions, that always sounds a little bit wrong, on our mindset of where we are on a scale of 1 to 10. I was thinking out how to regulate our body was actually what I was trying to think to say this. So on a scale of 1 to 10.
On a scale of 0 to 10.
Oh, actually it's 0, isn't it?
Yeah.
On a scale of 0, Z, naught, O is we are completely zenned out, neutral, balanced, centered, not worrying about the future, not worrying about the past, and you're just really present, poised, and fulfilled would be a place. And 10 is 10. 10 is a number between 9 and 11 with my accent. And 10 is completely chaotic, stuck where you are, too many tissues used around you or not enough tissues. It's the times when you just keep knocking over your water on the desk and you just can't do anything. So you're unfunctionable mentally, which takes into your physical. Will that be that's a great analogy. I'm trying to change it every time. Well, you're rocking in the corner sucking your thumb is probably what I usually say. The other one.
Yeah, feeling so stuck and not being able to see your way through.
When you're in a complete pickle. Exactly. Yeah. Chaos. So we rate ourselves at the start of this call, just so we can get an idea of where we are, and then we rate ourselves at the end of this call or this podcast at the end, and it just see if we've moved, if we've learned something, if we're more inspired about certain things. It's just a great way to regulate your body. Word out again, regulate your body and what's happening. And I encourage people to do this also throughout their day or their week. If they just feel like they're a little bit chaotic or something happens, they can go, oh, where am I on a scale of 0 to 10? And it just allows you to get present and not focus on as much chaos as what's really going on around you.
Absolutely. And it helps you self-manage and self-soothe if you need to, right?
Yeah, I like the way you said that. That's nice. Thank you, Moira. So, Moira
Yes.
Wisdom.
Yes, my dear.
Where are you sitting on a 0 to 10 scale right here, right now?
I'm going to say I'm a 0.
Oh,
Ah.
what?
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 Well, before, listeners, Deb and I always chat for a fair bit before we even start hitting record. And I've got lots of things on the go right now, but all of them keep coming back to show I'm in alignment and I'm actually doing really good. So I'm feeling pretty peaceful and awesome today.
It coincides with what we're talking about. But anyway, funnily enough, which
Yes.
always happens for us.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to say I'm a 2 because I do have a little bit of I'm not going to say chaotic brain, a little bit of a head full brain. I noticed just before I went on this call, I started yawning and yawning and yawning. And I'm like, what's that? And I know there's different analogies to the yawning, but I instantly didn't go to the spiritual analogy. I went, oh my God, I must be tired. What's happening? What's happened? Where's all my energy drained from? I was thinking, Moira's going to get me on this, I know. So I'm going to say a 2 is where I am. So the intention of Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Debz and Moira is to give people insights into challenges that come about, into challenges that come about, and just tools on how to function through them. So for the next 35 minutes, we're going to take you through our conversation, and it is really a conversation, and Moira and I don't really know how it goes. I should say, we have no plan attack. We know the title, and we're just here to share our wisdom with you, and we love to get some feedback if this resonates with you, if you don't like it, or if you'd like more information on anything. So
all that being said,
today's topic is to follow what lights you up. And I'm going to throw it straight to Moira, because Moira said for her to be a 0, even though she's got a lot of things going on right now, she's clearly doing that, because you wouldn't be a 0 if you were dragging through the mud with things that weren't inspiring for you.
Yeah.
So let's kick this off, Moira. Do you follow what lights you up?
Absolutely.
I knew the answer to that one.
So, I've actually been doing some I'm always doing work on myself. Like it's super important to me to walk my talk. But one of the things that I've been really noticing in myself with my personal practices is that I'm starting to really realize that introspection and checking in and being gentle and kind to me is of the utmost importance. And this is what I do with clients, is that so if, let's say I had a choice or a project that I needed to do because I said I was going to do it, and I feel a resistance in myself, then rather than get into any kind of conversation or dialogue about it, it's just to notice that, oh, look, there's some resistance. So what do I need to do that does light me up? Because when I focus on all of the things that light me up, it's really easy to take care of the things that don't. Do you know what I mean, Deb? It's like, yep, we still do live in a mundane.
I'm nodding my head. Yeah. We do. And I totally get that. And like you were just saying, we live in a mundane space reality.
Yeah.
If you, well, as we know, if you don't follow what lights you up.
Yeah.
I know I talk about it before, or I've talked about it before, is when you get your shirt caught on the handrail of the door.
Yes.
And in fact, I was telling him the other day about that, and he was like, that happened to me recently. I said, so what was going on? He's like, I was in such a pickle. Actually, he didn't say pickle. He said some other words, which I've just replaced with pickle. And I just had to giggle because it's true. So if you're not doing the things that light you up, the other stuff just escalates and escalates and escalates it's like boot camp. It's like, boom, boot camp. Here we go, wide open, throw it at you. Let's get all the mud thrown at you all at once till it frickin' hurts. But when you do follow the things that light you up, those little challenges, and if I say challenges or chaos or funk moments, are nothing.
Exactly.
They're a little pimple, not a big fat frickin' wart.
Not a big, huge one.
That's not a good picture.
Well, because to me, when we follow the things that light us up, it allows everything else to be a part of the creation of what lights us up. Because the saying that's kind of popped into my head is, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Right? So
I've never heard that. What? Tell me this, chop wood, carry water. Hang on, just take me back to that, because I'm not going to get past anything you're going to say until I figure that out.
So before enlightenment, so to me, it's like before the arrival at what lights me up, I have to chop wood and carry water to look after myself.
Okay, yep.
And then after I've become illumined, or I figure out what it is that lights me up, I still have to chop wood and carry water. It's an analogy for like, well, I still have to go grocery shopping and do the dishes.
Okay.
So before I get all lit up, I have to go grocery shopping and do the dishes.
Yeah.
And then after I've achieved it, I still have to go grocery shopping and doing the dishes.
Okay. Right.
So, but here's the thing, is when a person does not have an understanding of what it is that lights them up, and is not focusing on and following what lights them up, then those mundane things become irritating because you're not following your bliss.
Yeah. And anyone, and if people don't want to admit it happens to them, take a look at other people around. Let's just go straight to the look at the other people, and who's doing things that light them up and who isn't. You know instantly who those people are, because they just have, like, how do you get so much done in one day?
Yeah.
And you're like, how do you not?
Yeah.
And I'm left with that, how do you not? Like, it has to be done. I can see it's done, and I know when it's done, I'm going to have huge satisfaction. It's not as bad as what you think. But if you keep looking at that pile, it's going to get more and more frustrating. It's going to get heavier and heavier until it's way freaking bigger than it is.
Yep. And that leads me to another point there too, is that what's the story you're telling yourself about what has to get done? Because sometimes if you have a big project or a big thing that you have to get done, like a big deadline, and you look at it. In fact, I did this not so long ago. I looked at my schedule. So I think this might have even just been last week. Looked at my schedule and thought, oh my goodness, look at all the things I've said yes to in this one day. I don't think I can get it done. And then as soon as that thought formulated, I dismissed it. I was like, I'm not going to give any energy to that. And I'm just going to go off the list. Here, this thing has to get done. And then this thing. Do you know that I got everything done and more? At the end of the day, going, I would
agree, because yeah. Well, the thing is, it's the labels we put on ourselves.
Yeah.
And the longer you sit in stuff, overwhelming it becomes. I just checked on my phone because I read an article last night, and I had to giggle because it said, it's from the Daily Mail, and it said the 5 habits to keep the house clean. And I went, oh God, wonder how boring this is going to be. Let me just have a look, let's just go. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm on my phone, lying in bed, can't sleep, of course. So I read about the 5 habits to keep your house clean.
Right.
And it's really interesting. And that is, just even to keep your house clean is something for me, is to not have that chaos around, because I see that chaos and I go, oh, I've got to do that. Oh, I've got to do that. I've got to do that. A week goes by, a month goes by, 6 months goes by. But this is what it says. I had to giggle because it said, when leaving a room, always make sure it's clear. And I quite liked that. Always make sure. So for me, that would be, make sure there's no sweatshirts around. Make sure that there's not one slipper in the lounge and one slipper in the kitchen. That's because we have a cockroach, which we had an experience earlier that Moira knows about. Just because we're coming into winter, I just have to clarify. It's not that I don't have a clean house. I'm having cockroaches. Just these little things. And it said, keep all surfaces flat and clutter free. And I went, yes, you're right. Because as soon as you look around and you can see like 10 things on your table or something, you're like, oh my God, I must do that. Yeah. And it just clogs into, so it dims your light. So all these things I found were dimming your light. Make your bed every morning. I'm an avid person of that.
Yes.
There's just something about if you just need to sleep in the afternoon, is that you can just pull the covers back and jump in. Always keep the kitchen sink clean. And this got me. I couldn't be bothered putting dishes into the dishwasher. I left them there. We had the earthquake in Christchurch, and we had broken glass down the gurgler. No. And I also had cooked a roast that night, so I had the the big oven thing with hot roasting water in it. That I went to bed and it was sitting. Roasting pan, and it was sitting on top of the gas element. So it actually, when the earthquake happened, it went all through the gas element. So we had to get a new gas top. Goodness. We also had to get a new. So I'm a real avid must keep the kitchen sink clean of stuff. Just so that's just definitely one of mine. But the last one is the one I find the most kills people. And this is, I wonder if someone can guess this. This is fold the clean laundry straight away to prevent wrinkles.
I do that.
Yeah.
I do that.
Because I find if you don't do that, and it's right, and I like the way she, I don't know actually. Oh yeah, Caroline said fold the clean laundry straight away, and then it says to prevent wrinkles. So even because sometimes if you don't do it, you just go, oh, that's wrinkly. I should have done it straight away. But if you do it straight away, whether it's wrinkles or not, you just go, it's done.
That's right. And that's actually why I do that. I've done this for years because I can remember as a kid at home, there's gargantuan piles of laundry that had to be attended to.
Well, you had a million freaking sisters and family members and all the rest of it.
We had a huge family. But it's like, no, if I take care of one dryer load at a time and hang the things up and fold the things up, then it's super easy. It's done.
Yeah. But even, I know, so having, and we talk about, do you follow what lights you up? Just those little things actually lit me up. Yeah. And I went, yes, I get that. Now, it may be daunting, but if you're coming into the room and you have laundry from 4 days ago, I know that's going to get on your mind. You're going to go, no. I saw something on one of we have a thing called Trade Me in New Zealand. You have eBay. Yeah. I have a trade. And I have to giggle because when we had New Zealand, there was someone selling a chair, and they wrote, and the description of the chair said it's a great clothes hanger for your bedroom. And it went skyrocketed because everyone was just like, what a great description. This is exactly it. Because often if you have those chairs, they do become, I'll just throw my clothes over that. I'll just throw my clothes over that. I'll just throw my clothes over that. And it becomes chaotic. And that cannot be healthy for your mind.
No.
So I know when they talk about your mental health state, people with, and I say, quote, depression, one of the things some counsellors say is every day, just wash every day. If you can just get your washing done every day or every second day, it feels like you've achieved something. Making your bed's the first thing, and you feel like you've achieved something. But I get that. But then it's like, okay, I can wash every day, but then I've got to bring it in. And then I've got to fold it, and then I've got to put away. So it's not just the washing. I can wash one thing, but then there's a whole other part. So don't wash 20 loads at once, because those 20 loads, when you bring it in, become daunting. Yeah. So just do what you can. But these are the things that will light you up, because they're not going to be heavy in your mind afterwards.
That's right. And because that's the thing, is that when we have disarray or disorganized, whatever it is, any kind of on our desk, in our room, in our kitchen, it's, even though we may not consciously have the conversation going of, oh, I don't like that, or that's messy, or I need to take care of that, or, oh, I said I was going to do this and I forgot. And that's all depleting your energy. And it's almost like it creates this nervous energy within you, which kind of puts us in a bit of a funk. And so if we turn that around and just do it, I like some of these tips that you were just sharing, because that can actually be an addition to lighting you up. Is when I'm feeling lit up, I have lots of energy and I could just take care of this. I'm, going through to this room and I'm going to take that over there and put it in its place, as opposed to letting things sit and clutter and right? Because those are all reflections of what's going on internally.
I know. And so I like the way you described it, because even though you say it's no biggie, like you look and you go, oh, it's no biggie, it's no big. It is actually a biggie, because you're recognizing it. That's right. And then you're confirming to yourself it's no biggie, when actually you're just justifying it. Yes. And justifying is different to accountability, as we know. but it's definitely an interesting one. Now, it may light you up by do your washing, but having it done will light you up at the end of it. Exactly. So I loved washing. I used to always be a washer. I would wash, I'd wash. I love washing. And then my partner last year coached university football men's. And I then became the washer of the football, which is also known as soccer, uniform, hanging boys' socks out. Oh my God, that was just disgusting. Unzipping the bag. And I then refused to wash for about 4 months. I couldn't do the washing because I was just so put off. I know, my God, boys' socks. Come on, boys. But I understand. But I really went off what used to satisfaction of clean clothes. I'd be like, oh, I'll wash that. But then I was just like, and people would go, yeah, but you like washing. I'd like, no, I used to like washing. I don't like it now because of the whole, 20 flipping uniforms and 20 tops and 20 bottoms and 40 socks, and it was but it became something that didn't actually light me up, because it wasn't something that inspired me about doing. I'm back enjoying my game and putting it away straight away.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
But it's an interesting one. How,
I was just thinking that you were reminding me of a feeling that I've had before about what you were describing, is that you liked the laundry because you liked what it represented or what it gave you at the end. But then when it became a have to and a duty to many, many other people, and there was
obligation.
Obligation and a flavor of yuckiness in there.
And I'm a mother to one little princess girl.
Right. So it's like,
although she's in the Air Force, but
didn't have to put up with that before.
Yeah.
Because, it reminds me of way back when I was living in Britain. I don't cook so much anymore because I'm busy following what lights me up. But a lot of people that knew how my cooking would say, oh, you should open up your own restaurant, or you should have like a gastropub or something like that. And I always thought, I would lose the passion for this if I had to do it every single day and over and over and over again. So you're just kind of confirming that I just always intuitively thought, no, I enjoy doing it, but if I had to do it, it would be a different
Don't they
case.
say that now? If we've got a chef on here or a cook, I'd really like to know. And a builder, don't they say that chefs don't cook at home?
That's
and that builders don't do their work around home.
Yeah, they do say that.
Yeah, is that true? If we've got a chef or a builder or whatever you do for
a roofer,
a roofer, or whatever you do for a business, please let us know. Is this something you do outside of work? Like work's always work. Let us know if you do that at home, because I'd be curious about that one, because then I guess and if not, why? There's a goodie, another podcast.
That is a goodie, but that is a really good point, because the work that I do, like the tarot reading and the intuitive and the coaching and mentoring, I can't help myself. I'm doing that all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm the same. So are you. Yeah.
I'm the same, but I've had to, and I've noticed, and in fact, I had just had 2 friends here at the weekend, and I have to just hold my tongue a lot, because I find
times
sometimes
where I have to too.
Which is, and I said that to one of the girls. I said, I struggle to hold my tongue sometimes in situations. They went, some situations, did you say, Deborah? Don't you mean all situations? I was like, all right, girls, just because you know well, whatever. But it is, because sometimes people just want to offload and they don't want any resolution to things. In fact, I reached out to somebody recently who was having a pickle, and I said, have a look at my website and let me know what, if you'd like to go to the next step.
Mm-hmm.
And they came back and said, oh, you're the real deal. I don't know if I'm ready for you. And I had to giggle and just went, of course I'm the real deal. I wouldn't offer myself if I wasn't the real deal. But I just had to giggle that people then just go, oh my gosh, she's really gonna help me.
Right.
And I love the way the person said, you're the real deal. I don't know if I'm to, you're going to nail me, and we're going to work through it. So I probably think I just want to sit in my little story for a little bit longer,
right,
until I'm ready, and then I can look at whatever it is. But when you are lit up, you don't think anything. You just don't. You don't even question what you do. And we talked about this at the weekend, that often we went out and there was a waitress there, and I said, oh God, you look a little bit frazzled. Can I help you with anything? And she was just like, oh no, I've got this and this problem. So I was like, oh, what about this and this? And then I went up to the counter, and then I sort of just helped her with a little bit, and I came back down, and someone goes, what were you doing? I said, I was just talking to the waitress. They said, oh. So she said she was, the word frazzled, she wasn't frazzled, but that was my wording. And then you just went, oh, here's an opportunity just to help her. I was like, yeah, why would you not? And I didn't even think that I left the table of 20 people and just went and gave her a couple of tips and then carried on. I don't care if she does them or not. Like, I feel better for her. I actually know she's going to do them, because I could see in her eyes lit up.
Right.
But those little things that you just I didn't even think about it. I just got everyone 2 people to move. I got out of the table. I went up there, spoke to her privately, came back down, like carried on.
Mm-hmm.
And when things light you up, you don't even notice that I'm going out of my way to do stuff, because it didn't seem that. It just went, oh, I could just tell her this, and this might help her get through her day a little bit more.
I'm just sharing something.
And at the end, I did. Yeah. And at the end, she actually, I said to, when we paid, I said, there was one waitress we had. She was amazing. She really helped. I just turned around. I didn't even recognize it was her. She turned around. She goes, that was me. She said, your table was the highlight of my day.
Aww.
And that was so lovely, whether it was because of what I said to her or because we all were more relaxed or anything. Nobody complained about it. It might've just been whatever it was enough for her to hear me say that. I didn't even know it was her, but also for her to hear it, but also to actually say that as well. So that's what it's all about. And when you're lit up yourself, you hand that stick to someone else without even thinking about it.
But that's just
you hand the torch over.
Absolutely. But that's it. That's what's so important, is that, to me, this idea of following what lights you up means that you're very, very aligned with your own core truth and your own calling. And so it comes with so much ease. It's like you see something and you go, oh,
you don't question it.
Yeah. And so always, like for me, people call me the out of the box problem solver, because similar to you, when somebody starts to complain about something or tell me something's not really working out, then, all I say was, have you ever thought about it like this? And they go, oh my God, you just fixed it.
And then you're like, oh, that's really easy.
I know.
It's
like,
well,
really? Okay.
well, that's, I know, I love that. And that's because you're unattached emotionally to it. You can just say, oh, here's an issue, we'll fix that. Here's an issue, we can fix that. And it is just that easy. You don't even have to go, how can this work? How can this work? Because it just goes that easy.
Yep, absolutely. But here's the thing, is that flows just like that, following what lights you up, right? Because it's sharing your light. It lights you up, and then you share it.
Or you do it with ease and grace and style, and you don't even know that's what you're doing. I went and saw the accountant recently, and he started talking and my eyes glazed over, and he lost me 30 seconds in. And I actually had my mum there, and mum's kneeing me because she could just see I was pretty much sleeping with my eyes open. And I was nodding, more like I'm going to sleep here. And then I said, and he said, do you understand that? And I said, I lost you at 30 seconds in. Look, I had to admit, which I don't think mum really appreciated that. But anyway, and he goes, well, what didn't you understand? I said, everything. So he had to break it down for me, and he explained it in real. And I said, oh my God, how do you do this every day? This is so boring. This is so struggling. And I really pretty much, I don't think I consciously was aware I was slamming his business knowledge, but mum had said you were pretty rude. I didn't realize. I was like, oh my God, how could you do this? How could you look at all these figures all day? Like, I mean, you know, you've been ex-accountant.
I've done that before.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? And he said, yes, but you're different to me, Deborah.
That's right.
And I'm thinking, obviously. And he said, you can talk for 8 hours on stress. If we threw you on stage, you can talk for 8 hours on stress. He said, I wouldn't even know where to start. I would stand there and I'd look at all the people and go, what am I talking about? And I went, oh, that would be easy. I said, you can give me a topic and I can talk about it like for 8 hours. Yeah, no problem. I said, I'll probably want a pee break. Mum's like, oh my God, Deborah, why do you have to bring everything down?
Why do you have to be so real?
I know, but it was so true. I get that, because I can talk about stress, conflict, mindset challenge. I can talk about that stuff, and he can talk about accounting, and that lit him up, because he actually, you know, it's like he's a brown cardie, but when he talks, he does light up, and it's like he's on stage and he says all this and he becomes animated. And I was more watching his animation than anything but I was zoned out. I couldn't even get anything. But it was lovely to see the difference between the two. And we were extreme. We were extreme people, difference of to see how he lit up with accounting and talking figures, and this is what we've made, and this is what we haven't made, and this is where I've moved this to, and I was like, oh my God, I have no idea what you're doing. But it was beautiful to have somebody light up around me in an area that I completely zoned out. Now, when he explained it the second time around, I got % of it. I got it. I didn't get it all. I'd love to say I got 100% of it, but I got it. I got enough. And it was more because he was so interested in how he described. Do you get that? Do you understand that? You know, he was actually really in a teacher mode that could help me with things. And that was the important stuff.
Right. And that's the key piece there, right? Is that when you follow what lights you up and you communicate it to another, you can actually, it's the lighting up, right? It's part of my work is I teach people how to get in touch with their intuition. I teach them to slow things down and start to de-stress also. But I do it, and I can do it in a way that people, they just need to sit in my space and hear my words. Whether they're listening to every word I say, doesn't matter. It's because they actually can feel the energy. And that's what you just described with that accountant, is he's in his zone of genius, and it does light him up.
Yeah.
And so he can impart that, even if you do not understand things about line items on a profit and loss
Anything.
or the balance sheet or what on earth any of that is. But he can give you a feeling of, here's the big picture of it. Right?
And well, it's when they do it with ease.
Yes. When they do it with
And
ease
when they do it with
and passion.
Yeah. And you can see. And so when people go, when you meet people, instantly what lights them up within the first minute of talking to someone. Someone goes, "Oh, hello, I'm Deborah. Oh, what do you do?" Or, "Oh my gosh, my little child this morning did this, and this." Or, "Work colleagues did this, and we all had a laugh about this." Instantly that they love their work colleagues, or they love work, or they're a parent and they just love being a parent. Nothing against my daughter, but for about 7 years, people didn't even know I was a parent. At corporate events, because I just never said, "Oh, by the way, I'm a mum," or "I'm a single mum," because you get that labeled, whatever it was. So it wasn't that, but it was interesting. Well, that was because people said, "Oh, you don't want to be known as a single mum. You don't want people to feel sorry for you because you're a single mum." So I just never told anyone when I was in an event. Never said I was a mum, let alone a single mum, because there was so much stigma on it. I didn't have a problem with it. I just didn't think it was anyone's business.
Right.
It was my theory. But you hear people and you know instantly what they do. They light you up, and they just talk and talk and talk. Deborah, Moira, they talk and talk and talk about the things up.
That's right. Yeah. Because
and that's it. So I'm just going to say, go back to your parents. What do your parents talk about? And even when they're really, really, really old, they talk about something in the past when they were younger. That was the stuff that, "Oh, my dad had a motorbike," or "I remember the motorbike I first had when I was 20, and then I had to sell it because I married your mother." This is not my dad, by the way. At 25, and that was the best motorbike, and I never found another motor. So he's definitely holding on to about motorbikes, and I guarantee he researches motorbikes still. Because it's something that lights them up.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny that you say that, because even I'm thinking of examples of people will say to me, "Oh, you're so lucky because you've figured it out and you're on this track of following what lights you up." I don't. But to your point, if they just slow down enough to look at what occupies their thinking mind, what occupies their conversation, what kind of conversations do they gravitate towards, what kind of conversations do they feel
run away from?
I was going to say repulsed from. but that is such a beautiful way of understanding what is it that lights you up, right? How do you feel in this kind of environment or doing these kind of things? It's a beautiful tool.
And that stuff is so easy to figure out, really, if you just listen to somebody, because so if I go to a business event and there's people talking about young babies, I won't hang around that, because my daughter is nearly 21. So I'm out of there. I'm not going to talk about young babies because it's not something that resonates with me. We're talking about this and this and this, and I'm like, oh my God. But you get me into a conversation when someone's talking about stress or business or how to build your business or marketing or whatever, I'm right in that conversation. I'm standing in the middle there listening to everything. But it's what lights you up. I have gone consciously out of my way to learn more about accounting and figures and understanding things since my accountant, because I want him to think that, what if he listens to this? Probably not. I want him to think that I'm a little bit more intelligent than he thinks I am, because when he goes, "Do you understand that?" I'm going to go, "Yes, I do." And what you're saying is
good for you.
Yeah. But it is that what lights you up. And there will be, I'm just going to say before we wrap up, there's a pattern all the way along. There's a pattern. So even myself as a psychologist, I've always helped people with stress right from when I was at school, right from out of school. Someone would, when I worked in a department store, people would come and go, "Oh my God, I need an outfit. Can you help me?" I was always like, "Okay, what's it for?" And I'd help them. And so while I'm doing that, I'm talking to them about stress, and maybe you could do this and maybe you could do that. I'm constantly talking about how to unclutter your mind and find out what lights you up and all those things. So it's been right along. I just didn't put it into a particular box.
Yeah, that's well said.
And that's when you know what you've got.
That's well said. And I completely agree and resonate, because for me, I was always the sounding board, the problem solver, the fixer, and the person who everybody went to when they needed a wee bit of, insight or intuitive guidance, things like that. So I, like you, it's taken on many different forms until it's got into this specific definition. Defining moment. And it's actually always evolving now, too.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, even now you are throwing in way more tools into your toolkit than you did a year ago. Random, or not random, but, really different stuff. But it's all part of aligning of what lights you up.
Yeah.
And it's all part of who you are as, more. It's your signature.
There you go.
Wellness with Moira.
Wellness with Moira.
Perfecto.
Awesome. This has been a great conversation. We could probably speak for hours about these ideas of following what lights you up. But dear listeners, we would love to hear from you if you need any kind of help or sounding boards to define or to get on track or to recognize what is it that lights you up and are you following it? And also, we would like to check back in with our little rating on a scale of 0 to 10 to see, did it move? Did it shift? So, Deb, you were at a 2, if I remember rightly, at the beginning.
I don't know. I'm a 0.
You're a 0.
I'm a 0. I'm a 0.
I'm a 0 too. I started at a 0. I kind of got animated, and I did really like the whole concept of that, what you just brought up yourself there, Deb, about, it's what lights you up when you look back over your shoulder and say, oh, look, I've always been doing it. Because it comes with ease. That's what you're saying earlier too, is that following what lights you up comes through you with ease and grace. And I just love that.
Perfect. What a lovely way to end today. Thank you, everybody. Let us know what you enjoyed and what you didn't enjoy.
Absolutely. And like I said, if you need any help with getting aligned with what it is that lights you up, we'd love to hear from you.
And if you're a chef and you cook at home, let us know. And if you're a builder and you build at home, let us know. And if whatever you do for your job,
do you do it at
business, do you do it at home? I want to know. I want to know. Thank you.
All right, dear listeners, we will talk to you again soon. Bye, Deb.
Thanks.
Bye, listeners.
Bye.